discussion. I'm not reading out the list of names since all of us have heard them speak. I'm indeed grateful for the critical questions that many of the members have raised, and I'll try as much as possible to answer most of the questions. So first, let us understand and appreciate the fact, on which many of the speakers have also mentioned, that the insurance sector is a very highly regulated sector, where the regulator actually approves every product that is sold or given out for premium by the insurer. So he approves, the regulator approves the products, he approves the pricing, he regulates the pricing, the investment is regulated, and also the marketing is also regulated. So when we are talking of a sector which is insurance, it's a very highly regulated sector. And as was rightly pointed out by Honorable Member Sushil Modi, who's been a finance minister till recently in Bihar, the FDI limit is not a compulsion. It sets only the upper limit. Increasing the limit does not mean foreign investment will certainly come to that, automatically to that level, to all companies. Every promoter, every company will decide for themselves whether they want that kind of money, to what extent they want, and so on. So this enabling amendment is only to allow them to receive some money, but not exceed 74. So it is for the companies and the promoters to decide to what extent they want that money. And the policyholders' money which is going to be collected will have to be invested within India only. It cannot be crossing our boundaries. So FDI, why do we need it? I'll get into specifics of some of the questions which have been rightly raised by the honorable members, because they are concerns. Really, does the industry need this money? Don't they have enough money? They are all very pertinent questions, sir. So I'll try to definitely address. But when money comes, and when there is more competition, there are more organizations, more firms doing this, greater competition means that the person who takes the insurance is going to be having better deal given to him, and they are common people of India who will have a better deal given, better negotiated premium, total insurance, the package which is being given will be better. So competition strictly is for betterment. And therefore, I think from the beginning, whether it is at the stage of 2000, from 1999 for that matter, when you wanted to have competition, when you wanted to open up, because rightly 1991 is repeatedly said that opening up is actually bringing in a lot of goodie. Honorable Member Ami Yagnik very clearly voiced, she said, we are all enjoying the benefits of that opening up. Yes, we are enjoying the benefits. Shouldn't we also further it, or should we halt it? After all, that is important for us. All of us have been talking about that extent of bold reform which happened in 1991. And in fact, there are times when we are questioned. You have this political mandate, why don't you undertake reforms? Look at 91, look at what at that time, even though they did not have the numbers at that time, 91, what kind of reform? Yes, all of us do know, we give the credit to the twin Narasimha Rao ji with Dr. Manmohan Singh, who brought in that kind of a reform, and all of us talk about it. And Honorable Member Yagnik is right in saying, don't you want to have the benefits of it? All of us should enjoy, and we have that benefit, we should further the benefit. And therefore, I want to just recall the words in October of 2012 of the former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram ji. And I quote, though the Parliamentary Standing Committee headed by BJP leader Yashwant Sinha had recommended retaining FDI cap at 26%, the government has gone for the higher cap so as to meet the growing capital requirement of insurance companies. That logic holds good even today. And I'll tell you why, and I'll prove with data as to why there is a need for more capital to come in. The business is growing. There are more companies coming in. They need money. And I want this one to be placed in the context. When did Shri P.P. Chidambaram say this? This speech was made after the cabinet had approved the proposal for raising the FDI to 49%. So the spirit of wanting to increase, wanting to open up, wanting to also bring in more and more resources is true then, true today too. So then, as I move to answering question, I want to, because some of the critical questions are laying the background for us to discuss this topic and also to analyze it for the questions that have been asked. Anand Sharmaji said insurance companies and promoters do not want Indian-owned and controlled to go. He said that. I just want to place in the context here. In July 2019 budget, sir, I had mentioned that the government had announced, I said it in the budget, the intent to explore high FDI in insurance, inter alia. There were other sectors also I had mentioned at that time. As a follow-up, the insurance regulator has he was asked to do industry consultation. The IRDAI, which is the Insurance Regulatory Authority, consulted 60 insurers. Is 60 enough? I'll tell you how many insurers there are in this country and what therefore is 60. Consulted 60 insurers, a number of promoters, and also leading industry leaders and chambers, and then reported a clear support for the Indian insurers and stakeholders for increasing the FDI limit from 49% upwards to 74%. And further, on this basis, amending the requirement of Indian-owned and controlled also. Therefore, the instant proposal has come in, and I want honorable members to recognize the fact that the IRDAI had done that extensive consultation. It's all on record. Sir, just for a picture, all of us are rightly concerned about public sector insurers. What will happen? Honorable member, leader of the opposition, Shri Mallikarjun Kharge, raised the issue. What happens to reservation? I'll address those issues as I go through. But I want to first of all underline the fact as to what is the growth in the insurance sector in terms of the number of insurance companies and where are they? How many in public sector, how many in private sector? Let's just see the figures. Sir, insurance companies broadly are categorized into two groups, life insurers and the general insurance. And in the general insurers category, you can broadly have three subgroups. One is the general, which is also taking care of health and other issues. There is a standalone health-only kind of insurers. And a third one which takes care of agricultural insurance. So you have one life and a group of three which are categorized as general insurers. I'll just go down to see how many are in the public sector. Life in public sector, only one. Whereas life in private sector, 23. So there is a total of 24 companies in India which deal with life insurance. Then you move to the second group which has three divisions, which are non-life companies. The first one is the general one, which may also have health related. How many in public sector? 4. And how many in private sector? 22. So total of 26 there. Then standalone health only insurance.
Please, please, no interruption. Please, no, please.
Standalone health only. Standalone.
She is not yielding. She is not yielding. Please take your
place. Sir, standalone
not
health
going on
only.
record. Please, not yielding.
Not one in public sector. Just dealing with health alone in public sector, there isn't any. In private, there are 5. So total of 5 standalone health insurers. So then we move to agriculture. Agriculture insurance, there's 1 in public sector, there's none in private sector. So if we want to look at the insurance world, public sector has 6, all categories put together. Private sector has 50 already.
Please,
Sir,
please,
let me finish. I've not even started. this anxiety.
Do not speak while sitting, please. Nothing going on
Sir.
record. Only Minister, please do not disturb.
Let me come.
Please.
I'll answer your questions. I'm not going to
Please.
leave Binay Vishwam's concern aside, sir. Honorable member, I'll answer each one of the questions to the best of my ability. I will include yours also in answering. So this is the insurance, sir. Reinsurers. How many are there in public sector? 1. How many are there in private sector? 11. 11 are there in reinsurers in private sector. So total of 12. So all insurance put together in public sector, there are 7. In private sector, there are 61 and therefore a total of 68 insurance-related companies. Just for us to have a perspective of what we are talking about when we are saying we are raising this limit, whoever wants to go up to that limit, they want to go, they can, but how many are in the play? Now, therefore, employment-related worries, very genuine, very serious matter to be discussed in all seriousness, given the stature of this House. Sir, I've given you a rough total of the total number of companies which are in the insurance market. Now, again, how many employees? Public sector, life and the general category put together has 1,65,000 people. Private sector, again, life and general category all put together, 2,67,000 Indians. They are also our people. We'll have to be worried about them as much as those in the public sector. They are also working for their livelihoods. So let's not forget that. Second, these are employees, sir. I'm talking about agents now. Life, general, and then I'll give you the total. Public sector, 12,85,000 in life, 2,60,000 in general, so total of 15,45,000 people in public sector, agents only. Private sector, sir, 11,07,000 in life, 9,97,000 in general, total of 21,04,000 agents in private insurance area. They are agents. So total of employees and agents in public sector is around 17,10,000, whereas in private sector, 23,71,000 people are working both as employees and agents. That is the total, just to get a perspective. So just one quick wrap-up, which many members did speak about, that even in 2000, foreign investment was taken up to 26%. In 2015, the limit was raised to 49% of the paid-up equity capital of such companies, which are Indian-owned and controlled. Then in 2015, which many honorable members did refer to, the outcome of the amendment was FDI inflows were allowed, and many members, inclusive of member Turchi Shiva, who gave a different figure, but I will explain that figure, asked about how much actually has come after 2015. 26,000 crores have come post that increase in the FDI limit of 2015. Only 5 years have brought in that kind of money into the country and generated the kind of employment that I've just given you figures of. And the correction about the number 9,000, I'll come to explain as to what it is. 12 new insurance companies have come into play. Each of them, each one of the 12 have come with 26% FDI opened up after 2015. The total asset under management, sir, saw a 76% increase in 5 years. A rise which is 76%, when actually the rise, if you were to get a rough number, the nominal GDP rise was only 63%. The rapidity with which the sector is growing, and therefore the need for more and more resources so that companies can compete and compete healthily. So, just to recap, between 2015 and today, 53 insurance companies were there in 2015. Today, 3 more have come into play, so there are 56. Whereas reinsurers, where there was just 1, today there are 12. Sir, where there was 0 of listed insurance companies, those who got listed in 2015, there was 0. Today there are 6 listed companies. What does listing mean? Everything that they do is available for everybody to see. A stock market regulator regulates them. People like ordinary Indian citizens can buy shares in them, earn dividends out of it. Everything happens openly in the stock markets. So even that's happening. Budget, I've mentioned about it, and post the budget mention of July 2019, I've also said how the insurance regulator had done the consultation. I've said it, I won't repeat it. So what is the situation today? Insurance companies are facing liquidity pressures. Sushil Modi ji, when he spoke about the solvency ratio requirement. You have 100, then you need to keep assets worth 150 or cash to that extent. If you fall from 150 down, you're treated as your solvency ratio is questionable. Therefore, are you under stress? Questions are happening. Continuous monitoring happens from the regulator. So when companies face liquidity pressures, they need more money to come in. And within India, for them to raise, every attempt has been made. They are making it continuously, but maybe adequately not getting liquidity for their operations, both to meet the solvency requirements and also for the business development requirements. And then growth capital is honestly hard to come by. Situation is improving. Today, even banks, when they go to raise capital in the market, they are able to get better response from the market. I'm sure insurance company will also meet the response. So the regulator, after the consultation, has come up saying, also because of the pandemic, today the borrowings of both the center and the states are also growing. There is such a crowding out because of government borrowing, or because more and more capital is required by corporate agencies. So you need more money to come in for this purpose. So very many honorable members who raised this question saying, isn't there enough money in this country? There's also enough borrowers, and therefore enough is not enough. You need more. And then the regulator also flagged this point that if FDI has to be raised, it has to be raised with adequate safeguards. And that safeguards is what I will get into details of, very clearly looking at both aspects of control and also the ownership, and also the money which is getting collected so that Indian money remains in India. Policyholders' money does not go out of the country. On that, I'll give you specific, although Sushil Modi ji referred to it, and I'm also grateful that we had Ramchandra Singh ji, who also spoke elaborately on it, very crisply but very clearly explaining what this is going to mean. So, what is the nature of this business? Insurance is capital intensive. We all know more money, and Zafar Islam clearly explained, unless you have deep pockets who can fund this activity and wait for long, because the gestation in life is 10 years. Break-even is acquired only by that time. And for the general insurance, 7 to 8 years. So who is going to put that kind of money and wait for 10 years to see it reach a break-even? You need people who have deep pockets, who can come in and within the laws of India function so that insurance can penetrate deep into this country. So this FDI policy that we are talking about is very much in alignment with the objective of the FDI policy which has been brought out by this country, wherein we are very clear to say that the FDI policy is brought in only to supplement domestic long-term capital. Supplement. Because we don't have adequate, we need to have a way in which we can bring in additional resources which can supplement what is available in the country. And what is available in the country is not sufficient. So we need to supplement it. And the FDI policy, therefore, will, with the additional capital which comes in, enhance the insurance presence in this country. Penetration is the word we are using. What is there? To go deep into the country and touch the poorest of the poor with some kind of a insurance inclusion. You all know that Jan Dhan Yojana brought in the financial inclusion. I was also very impressed by one of the members who spoke about Swamitwa. Was it Manoj Jaji? Swamitwa. I was glad to hear that word. Who actually is doing Swamitwa to the rural poor? Prime Minister Modi. Swamitwa is asking. We've given digitized records to poorest of poor who hold small bits of land. They can't even have papers in their hand. Unless they have the paper, they can't go to the bank and raise a loan. Who actually is working for Swamitwa and for the Swamitwa of the poor? You may be a small party, I'm using your word, I'm not saying your party is small, but you said, I belong to small, will you hear my voice? Your voice is what is being heard. And we're doing that work. We are actually delivering, not just hearing your word. So, when somebody else said, I was very sort of hurt, but of course it's the right of every member. The poor will laugh at you. No, the poor are supporting Prime Minister Modi. Poor are saying, here we go, we give you vote, give us Ujjwala, give us gas cylinder, give us water, Nal Se Jal. No rich man wants Nal Se Jal. They're poor people who want some jal at their homes. Otherwise, they're carrying 7 or 8 pots and going miles. Rajasthan. In desert area, Bundelkhand, Madhya Pradesh. That's what Prime Minister Modi is doing. Poor are not laughing. They are actually laughing with happiness that here is the Prime Minister who's giving me gas in my house. Here is the Prime Minister who's bringing Nal Se Jal. Here is the Prime Minister who's given me full financial inclusion. Here is the Prime Minister who gives me mudra to do my chota mota venture in the street. Yeah, all right, you will. Don't shift the milepost. First, reach the gas. First, reach the gas to the poorest of poor. So, sir. The poor people are laughing with a sense of joy. I'm not sure if I remember who the honorable member was. Yes, the poor are happy because at least every one of the program of the government is reaching them. And by this, the Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Bima Yojana was launched by us. At ₹1 per day, you can insure. You can safeguard your life, your limbs. If you were to have an accident, that Bima Yojana gives you money. So, in order to have that kind of a penetration, insurance companies need more money. I want to underline, and also to link it with Atmanirbhar Bharat and say, you're supposed to be, lecturing on Atmanirbhar Bharat. How are you allowing FDI? Yes, we are allowing FDI into this country. We are not saying take our money and go away. That is Atmanirbharta. We are only doing that, sir. So, yeah, we are bringing him back. Don't worry, you list me. Vijay Mallya, Mehul Choksi, Nirav Modi, all your friends are coming back.
Please.
All there, sir. Yes, I agree. I address you, sir. Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi, Mehul Choksi, all of them are coming back to face the law of this land.
माननीय मंत्री के बयान के अलावा कोई चीज रिकॉर्ड पे नहीं जा रही है. आप बैठकर ना बोलें.
Sir, therefore, you can have any number of pulling us up. We'll answer every question. But whose dost was Mallya, whose dost was Choksi, whose dost was Nirav Modi, all of us know. And who gave them? Who gave them the money?
Who gave them loan?
Please.
So, sir,
Please.
no problem. They can keep asking one after the other. Everybody is coming back to this country to face the law of this country, sir. So, it's all right when I can give you the calendar. Sir, again.
Please.
Again, sir. There was a lot of giving details which are very pertinent details about compare India's insurance sector in terms of its penetration, in terms of the density and so on. Insurance companies, just to have a comparison, sir, I've talked about 2015 to 2020. In 1999, there were only 6 companies in India. In 2019-20, thanks to all the opening up, liberalization, 1991 onwards, various stages, 2000, before that 1999, 2000, 2015. Today, when I said 2019-20, there are 70 companies. From 6, it has come to 2019, 70 insurance companies. What is the penetration, sir? When I say penetration, premium to GDP. We had a penetration of 2.71 in 2001. Today it is increased to 3.76. Today, when I say today, it is 2019-20. Now just compare that with the rest of the world. We are talking about India, aspirational India, young India, growing your population. If in 2019-20 we have 3.76%, sir, just look at the penetration. That's a penetration figure. China, 4.3%. South Korea, 10.78%. Brazil, 4.3%, 4.03%. Taiwan, 19.97%. Russia, 1.35%. South Africa, 13.4%. And therefore, the global average, which I think Zafar or somebody did refer, 7.23%, whereas India is still at 3.76%. Now, density, which is premium to the total population. $11.5 it was in 2001-2, whereas now in 2019-20, it has gone up to $78 in India. Now, what is the global figure for that for the year 2019? China, $430, whereas ours is $78. $3,366 in South Korea, $351 in Brazil, $4,993 in Taiwan, $157 in Russia, $803 for South Africa, and $818 is the global average. 818. We are at 78. That is the density. So there is immense opportunity for our insurance sector to grow. Obviously, in September of 2019, FDI limit for insurance intermediaries was enhanced, and therefore a lot of changes happened. One such a change is what was referred to by Tiruchi Shivaji on the amount 9,000. I'll come to specifically talking about that. So sectoral performance, just one data which I want to bring to the notice of honorable members in the House. If you look at the premium within India, sir, underwritten by general and health insurance, I'm taking the source from IRDAI, the regulator, public sector insurers, premium as a market share, in 2018-19, it was 40.52, whereas now in 2019-20, it is 38.78, public sector insurance. Private sector insurance, in 2018-19, it was 47.9. Today, meaning 19-20, it is 48. So just compare the public sector and private sector. Public sector insurance market share is 38.78, whereas private sector's market share is 48.03. So slightly closer to half of the market share is with the private sector. Then standalone health and specialized insurers, I can give you the figures, but I just want to bring that perspective back to this debate. Sir, the spirit with which all the committees had spoken, again I want to draw the attention. Why should, this question was raised, why should owned and controlled as two words which are part of the definition be amended? Will it not dilute the sovereignty of the sector? Some honorable member did raise that question. Here the word, I want to underline this, here the word controlled means right to appoint a majority of directors, control the management of policy decisions, including by virtue of their shareholding or management rights, or shareholder agreements or voting agreements. So, by raising the FDI limit to 74%, dropping the word owned becomes a natural corollary. As regards the control, budget announcement has stated some conditions that inter alia include majority of directors, which I think some members did highlight. Sushil Modi spoke about it. Majority of the directors in the board and key management persons, KMPs as they are referred, to be resident Indians, which means every law of the land will be applicable on them. And a specific percentage, this is very important, and a specific percentage of the profits to be retained as general reserve. It cannot leave at all. So I think this sort of should remove the doubt from the minds, saying foreigners are coming, foreigners are going to put money. Somebody did say back again colonialism. No. Back again mercantilism. No, sir. The laws of this land are fairly mature. They can control every operation which happens in this country. Nobody is just going to take it away and make us sit and watch. So, sir, just for a minute, I'll go back to 1994. I did hear one of the honorable members speak about Malhotra Committee, which was set up in 1994. And the Malhotra Committee was set up for insurance sector, and it recommended a non-controlling stake of foreign partners. 1994, BJP was not in power. And that Malhotra Committee said and strongly recommended non-controlling stake of foreign partners. From 94, it is going on. And 1999, the then FM, Sri Yashwant Sinha ji, made this point clearly, that insurance companies will be forced to have foreign equity participation. He said about it at that time, 1999. And he also stated that the standing committee that was represented by all parties recommended 26% of foreign participation in the insurance sector to improve customer service, to bring in new products, to bring in technical know-how for the sector. And again, the same spirit applies even today. Sir, Tiruchi Shivaji, one or two points which I want to lay for his consideration on the points that he had raised. There is little demand for FDI and therefore no need for increasing FDI limit. I think I sort of addressed that. I just want to repeat. Currently, 22 out of the 56 direct insurance companies in India have already received 40%, around 40% of FDI. Average FDI in private direct insurance other than reinsurers I'm talking about is about 31% only. They have not touched 49. So the safeguards. Again, a lot of members did speak about what kind of safeguards. A few members did speak about the kind of safeguards that we are working. Someone did refer to Section 27E. Section 27E of the Insurance Act very clearly says, and that is intact, it is in place, and that itself will explain the fact. No insurer, and I'm reading from that, no insurer shall directly or indirectly invest outside India the funds of the policy holders. This is the line in the Act. Section 27E says that in the Insurance Act, and that is still intact. It shall remain there. Indian insurance companies, sir, having foreign investment, will be required to retain specific percentage of the profits as a general reserve. You're right, Anand Sharma ji. As announced by me in the budget, through rules that would be made to prescribe conditions under the bill. This will ensure that reserves are available for meeting policyholder claims regardless of a foreign investor's own financial condition. That is something which I want to underline. That money which is going to be in the general reserve, even if that insurer promoter becomes or gets into difficulty, that money is there for you to pay up every insured member's claim. So citizens' claims are being protected by this general reserve which is also being created. As announced in the budget, sir, a majority of the directors, key management persons of the Indian insurance companies will be resident Indians and therefore always be within the reach of all Indian laws and codes. In addition, 50% of the directors will be independent directors, so there will be a good watch on how the company's decisions are being taken. Which is exactly, I would like to repeat the budget line that I had said. I quote, under the new structure, the majority of directors on the board and key management persons would be resident Indians, with at least 50% of directors being independent directors and specified percentage of profits being retained as general reserve. That's the core, sir, which should address the concern of majority of the members who asked the questions on it. So, very important issue. Before I get into that, again the point of Tiruchi Shivaji, who spoke about a 9,000 crores money. Sir, IRDAI's annual report is the source from where I'm taking this, and the source of foreign investment figure of 9,544. You said 9,500, sir? 9,544, which pertains to foreign reinsurance branches, not Indian insurance companies, as of 2019. Today, this figure stands at 10,387 crores. So FDI in insurance companies, not the 9,500, which is for reinsurance, FDI in Indian insurance companies is over 26,000 crores post 2015. So just 5 years, and I therefore want to say 20,000 crores is not a wrong figure. That's the figure for the FDI which has come into this country post the amendment in 2015. What you quoted, Honorable Member Shiva, is the reinsurance money. So the very important question, sir, and I want to highlight the fact that Government of India, Prime Minister Modi, 100% committed to the social justice point of view, which has been raised by several members. I am happy to say that we stand by the constitutional affirmative action and every reservation that has been provided, and therefore, when I've quoted the number of public sector insurance companies, the reservation policy is fully implemented, protected, guarded. It shall be like that today, it shall be like that tomorrow. So I want to assure that this number of companies which are in the open market as private companies, when they need money,
Please.
I wish members hear me out, sir. I wish members hear me out, because I've taken every one of their questions. Every one of their questions, sir, I've taken it seriously. I'm addressing with all the responsibility that is within my command to say Government of India. And actually, sir, I don't want to speak politics. If there are instances of repeatedly proving our commitment for the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and also for the BCs, it is Prime Minister Modi and his government. BC Commission was us. SC, reservation. Number of, in between 2014 and 19, sir. Look at what has been committed from the government with immense pride and with a sense of, commitment. Whether it is Dr. Ambedkar's residence in the UK, whether it's Punya Bhumi in Delhi, whether it is Nagpur, every one of Sri Ambedkar's very sacred spaces have been...
Please बैठ करना बोले. Please बैठ करना. Please आप कोई बात रिकॉर्ड पे नहीं जा रही आपकी. कोई बात रिकॉर्ड पे नहीं जा रही. Please बैठे. Please. No.
Sir.
माननीय मंत्री जी को बोलो. Please.
I want to.
Please आप.
Sir, I want to appeal.
Please. Nothing is going on record. Manya Mantri,
Sir, I want to appeal. Sir, I want to appeal through you that when I've heard all the members sitting here patiently, which is my duty, I would request every member to kindly listen to the response that I'm giving rather than come disrupting my answers.
Please.
Every one of the sacred places associated with Dr. Ambedkar was ensured, preserved, protected, updated by Prime Minister Modi between 2014 and 19.
Except minister's statement.
And today, a party, I am now talking politics, sir.
बैठकर ना बोलें. माननीय
Have
मंत्री जी
some
का ही बयान
patience to
जाएगा
listen.
कोर्ट पे. Please.
The party which defeated Dr. Ambedkar in an election has the strength to start shedding crocodile tears on that.
Please, madam.
So, sir, I want members to do recognize that the way in which within 5 years our commitment to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes and to the backward classes have been shown is proven. And coming to this,
Please, बैठकर ना बोलें. Please, madam. Please.
sir, coming to the policy that has been stated as a part of the budget about the presence of strategic sectors, finance.
Please.
Oh my God.
Please, बैठकर ना बोलें.
This
Please,
is
बैठकर. Nothing is
unbelievable,
going on record. Please, madam, address. Please, address.
They don't want, I mean, this has become now, Honorable Deputy Chairman, sir.
Please.
I appeal to the members that I was immensely touched, and I'm very grateful for that the debate happened. Everybody did voice their concern. I fully take it upon myself that it's my duty to answer, and only request is when I'm answering, kindly hear it out. You can, this kind of, anyway. So,
Please, बैठकर ना बोलें.
I'm coming back. No, you.
Please, बैठकर ना बोलें. कोई बात रिकॉर्ड पे नहीं
Come
जा
on,
रही. Please.
Dr. Yagnik,
Please.
don't do this.
Please.
Sir, so, reservation applies to all those public sector undertaking. Oh, sir, allow me, sir.
Please.
So, the strategic sectors in financial sector is also part of the strategic sectors. And where we have very clearly said there will be presence of the public sector enterprises. And therefore, reservation is protected and reservation will be respected. I want to say this in spite of all the voices which are trying to drown me. Reservation is safe under Prime Minister Modi.
Thank you.
Okay, sir? Let's move on to the other things. So I think I've largely addressed all the questions, sir. Now I will leave it to the honest consideration of all the members to consider to pass this bill.
Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman to move a motion for consideration of the Insurance Amendment Bill 2021. The question is that the Insurance Amendment Bill of 2021 be taken into consideration. The question is that the Insurance Amendment Bill 2021 be taken into consideration. Nothing is going on record. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. The motion is adopted. We shall now take up clause by clause consideration of the bill. Clauses 2 to 4 stand part of the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Clauses 2 to 4 are adopted. Clause 1, the enacting formula and the title stand part of the bill. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Clause 1, the enacting formula and the title are adopted. Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman to move that the bill be passed.
Sir, I rise to move that the bill be passed.
Motion moved that the bill be passed. The question is that the bill be passed. Those in favor will please say aye. Aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The bill is passed. Message from Lok Sabha, please. Message from Lok Sabha. Message from Lok Sabha. Secretary General, please.
Sir, with your kind permission,